What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Dylan Schultz here, David Bear, and you're watching Prehistoric Companions.
What's up, world? What's going on, YouTube? My name's Dylan Schultz. I'm a mailman,
I'm an artist,
and I'm a reptile keeper. If those things interest you, welcome to my channel and keep watching.
So if you guys clicked on this video, thank you for dropping by. I greatly appreciate it. Do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. We do all kinds of reptile stuff. I'm also an artist. I graduated from New Mexico State University with a bachelor's of fine art, emphasizing in sculpture and painting and ceramics. So we do some cool art projects too. I just want to entertain and educate and share with you guys all kinds of awesome stuff. So last Sunday, me and David here drove to Grand Junction. We're on our way back to Grand Junction. We discovered a female bearded dragon, and we're gonna give this fine lady a home. So we're going to collect a bearded dragon today, guys. What's this bearded dragon's name?
Luna.
We got little Luna. So upon picking up this dragon brings us to today's topic. You know, David here is fairly new to the reptile community. This will be his technically first bearded dragon. You know, we've hung out. You know, I've known this guy for like 3 years now, and at first he was like super scared of the bearded dragon.
Scared as shit.
Hilarious. He's just like, man, that thing better not bite me. It's like, no, there's little angels, you know, with raising them and giving them the care and everything they need and socializing them. You know, they get used to it. They're great beginner pets. They're great with kids. So he's got totally turned on to the bearded dragon. So we're gonna go scoop up one today. That's 2 years old. You know, it's already got past the real fragile state of its life. The yearlings, you know, when they're babies, you know, you gotta give them a lot of really extra care and feed them, make sure they have a really strong start to life. This dragon is already healthy, it's established, eats her salad great, eats her bugs great. So, and today we're gonna, I guess, talk about things. This is also kind of a little confessions video, because we're gonna talk about things that you shouldn't do with your bearded dragon, or really any reptile. And this confession's because I've done all these things. That's another part of why I'm making these YouTube videos, to share, hopefully, my experiences, and, you know, hope that other people out there can relate and see that, you know, we're in the reptile community, we're not perfect, and we make mistakes, and I want to share with you those mistakes and hope that people don't make them, you know. Which brings us to our first thing that you shouldn't do with your bearded dragon. I have a little list here. What do we got? Showers. I mean, you should be giving your bearded dragon a bath at least between once and twice a week. You know, this just hydrates them and they'll drink water. It helps them with shedding. But you don't want to take them in with you. I would do this, you know, just like, oh yeah, I take my bearded dragon in the shower with me. He likes it. It's kind of cute. He always flattens himself out like a pancake over the drainage part, like, and he lets the water fill up. But the problem with bathing with your bearded dragon is that, you know, at the end of the day, I come home from work and I'm all gross and dirty and I'm washing away all that funk and stuff. And he's essentially like just bathing in like everything that I'm washing off of my body. So I mean, if this is something that you practice or would do, I would just get cleaned off first, make sure you're squeaky clean, and then invite your scaly companion in. Number 2, outdoor enclosures. Now this is a popular thing, especially if you live in an area that already has ideal conditions for your bearded dragon. I built an outdoor enclosure for Philo when I was in college, as I lived in New Mexico and had nice hot summers, but there were so many problems with that. I gave him a lot of space, but I built it. It was like a 8-foot by 4-foot huge outdoor enclosure, lots of ventilation, had plenty. I didn't give him enough hides and places for him to escape the heat. That was definitely a problem. But also, if you noticed on his face, he's got like a really beat up chin, and that's because I didn't line the bottom of that tank with like plexiglass or like a smooth surface. I used like a chicken mesh or like chicken wire, and just pacing back and forth for hours when he'd be out there, he like beat up his face, unfortunately. So I mean, after doing that, I immediately stopped using that tank, and you know, we'd still go outside and have outside time, but you know, just monitor that. Okay, then so number 3. Speaking of, since we're on the topic of outdoor stuff, feeding them bugs that you find from outside. This is something you should never ever do with any reptile, because you don't know what that insect has been exposed to, potential pesticides, diseases, or they themselves could be venomous or something that's not like lightning bugs. You don't ever want to feed lightning bugs to any reptile. It'll really severely screw up your animal, even kill it. So don't ever feed them anything outside. Always establish your own colony and your own feeders. Give them quality food. Feed them things that you would feed your animal. All right? Now, for the record, I did not feed my dragons, ever fed them lightning bugs. It's something that I've heard. I did only do this once when Philo was really little. Like, there was a moth, and he was like, I gotta get this freaking moth, you know, and he did eventually get it. It was so entertaining watching him trying to eat this thing that to practice, you just shouldn't feed them anything that you just find outside. You know, you just don't know. Better safe than sorry. Number 4. So, taking your bearded dragons out in public. Now, this is something that, I mean, if you train your dragon and, like, little bit by little bit, the first time I ever took my bearded dragons, like, say, outside, you know, as they're grown up in captivity, they've always come from, like, an indoor place, and then you take them outside, and they act totally different. They start puffing up, and you seem a lot bigger to them. The world is huge. It's scary for them, you know, and that can really stress them out and could cause, you know, problems. Maybe they might go on, like, a little hunger strike because you stressed them out. They're just like, man, you know, the world's so big and scary. So this last summer, I did take my bearded dragons out a whole lot. You know, in the summer when it's really nice and like 90, 95 degrees out here, pretty low humidity, I like to take them out and do stuff. You know, I've you know, slow process. I would take them out a little bit here, a little bit there, have some outside time, and like build them up to it. And they're totally used to being around people and going out and doing things. You know, sometimes I would take them out. Me and this guy would go out to like lunch or breakfast or something, and we'd bring the dragons, sit outside.
We even had golf in Vail day.
Yes, we did do that. We brought them golfing. Just chill, you know. If there's something like a nice, relaxed activity, we even went to some lake out here and had a lake day. You know, so if there's like an activity, something's like kind of kick back and you want to involve your dragon, do it, you know. To just like socialize them and like build them up to it, you know. Make sure that they're comfortable around other people and like going out and doing things. Number 5, trying to save on space. I did this somewhat really bad, what I did, and I didn't know any better. You know, like moving to Colorado, all the houses and everything up here are pretty compact, and I did change this. You know, I got my dragon situated with nice 75, they're 75, 80 gallon tanks, roughly, which is like the minimum that you would want for an adult bearded dragon. You know, they are very active animals, and you have to have like a nice temperature gradient from the cool end to the hot end. You know, nice 75 degrees at lowest, upwards to 110, 115 in that basking spot. But whenever I'm moving and I'd split one of the tanks in half, I got some acrylic sheeting, and I essentially converted one tank into 2. And this was so bad for many reasons. You know, it saved me space, but that's not bad. That's not why you want to have these animals. You know, you want them to be comfortable, and you you always want to think about that animal's needs first and correct those things. If you see that you're probably doing something problematic, correct it, please. So yeah, I built Bossy her own custom situation. So you don't want the bearded dragons. They didn't have as good a temperature gradient whenever I did that, when I split that tank in half and essentially created 2 tanks. They didn't have a good temperature gradient, and they were always seeing each other, and that stresses them out too, because they were just like, oh, male and female, and I see you and I want to mate with you, but I can't. So that was just really mean thing to have done. How about number 6? I don't think I have a very set number of things that you shouldn't do with your reptile here, but I'm just basing off of this list that I have here. I guess I have 6 things. Not changing their substrate enough. Currently, I have my bearded dragons on tile. So I've found over the years, I mean, I like natural substrate and I like the natural look, and trying to find a good substrate that doesn't retain a whole lot of humidity for these guys and does the job, keeps the smell down, but not changing it enough. You know, you really, with loose substrates, coconut husk or coconut fiber and things like that, you want to change out. You want to do your regular spot cleaning. If they poop, clean it. Change it out once a month, you know, because that stuff just has a tendency to hold on to like bacteria, and you don't want them just sitting in that stuff. I think back in the day, like I said, I've had my male bearded dragon for 9 years, and I've learned a lot over these 9 years. So, you know, but back then I would only change his substrate out maybe like once every 3 or 4 months. So you got to change it a lot more than that. So with all this being said, guys, you know, I'm not an expert. I'm learning new stuff all the time, but, you know, I want to just, you know, confessions, you know, where everyone's, you know, not everyone's perfect, you know, but, I mean, I have good intentions. I love my animals, and I'm learning new stuff all the time and always trying to improve the quality of their life. If you yourself have done something like, maybe you shouldn't have done that, why don't you share, you know, because, I mean, we all learn from it. We all make mistakes, and put it out there because someone else could benefit from your mistakes. If you have some confessions yourself, feel free to drop some in the comments section below. So let's continue this journey. We're still driving to Grand Junction. Got a little ways to go. Check out some of this scenery, guys. We're going to pick up this dragon. Thank you for checking in. Like, share, subscribe. Be kind to each other. Love your mail carrier. Have a great day, guys. Peace. Back here at Crocodile Reef, we're gonna scoop up this 2-year-old female bearded dragon, Luna. Ready to ring up? Do you want anything else, or just oh, that's the expiration date.
It's the kitchen. They should put an island in there. That's one flaw. It's falling right away. Looks like
A little bumpy, huh? These dragons like car rides too, you know. You guys, if you do this, just be careful. Make sure they don't scurry off and get lost in the car.